This is John Picasso, and this is the second lesson of the Coding 101 front-end web development. In this lesson, we're going to be going over programming with JavaScript. So this lesson is going to be great for any intro-level programmers. This is going to help give you a lot of key concepts and basic fundamentals for understanding how to program. It's going to be useful in JavaScript or Python or Java or C# or any other programming language that you're going to learn. So this is a really good course. Try to pay a lot of attention to this, and it's going to be really helpful later on. So make a slide actually work. All right, so some of the key concepts that we're going to learn in this lesson. The first is just a basic overview of what scripts are, some pseudocode, and a recap from lesson number 1. Then we're going to go over expressions and operators. So this is basically just think of a calculator. Think of if-then type statements. Think about comparing and contrasting, two different types of strings, adding strings together. Basically, all like the nuts and bolts of, basic operations. Then we're going to talk about if-then loops, as well as for loops and while loops and cases. This is kind of like the brains of most programs. It talks a little bit about, okay, if this happens, then do something else and keep on running this program until you reach a certain result or through 10 iterations. But this will give us a pretty good way to iterate and program. Then we're going to talk a little bit about data types. Data types can be a little bit boring, so you'll have to bear with us on this one. But we're going to go over some of the basic concepts around data types that, again, is basically fundamental for any programming language. So this is really important to pay attention to it as well. Then we're going to talk about functions. The basic idea here with functions is that you can create a block of code and then reuse that block by calling that function. So the function could be something like book a hotel room. And instead of having to retype out all that code for booking a hotel room every single time you want to book a hotel room, which would be completely insane, you just write it all once in a function called book hotel room, and then whenever you want to book a hotel room, you call that function book a hotel room. So functions are going to be really helpful, as you start to program, especially with larger programs or anything that has repetitive tasks. And then finally, we're going to talk a little bit about object-oriented programming. So this has a lot to do with just a style of programming where everything is based off of an object. So think like a hotel. A hotel has different properties. Those properties might be like an address, the number of rooms it has, things like that. And then there's different events that can happen, like book a hotel room, or someone walks in, and that can call different methods. A method is like an action, so it could be confirm hotel room booking, things like that. But it's a really nice way to visualize and think about what you're actually programming and building all your code around that particular object, like a hotel or car or person or whatever it is. A hotel, you can book rooms, a person can greet you, things like that. But it's just a nice, easy way that a lot of programming languages use to make it easier to visualize what it is that you're going to be learning. So these are some of the different projects that we're going to be going over. So these things are going to be really helpful for you to just actually understand the core concepts. What we like to do here is teach you what it is that you need to know to actually write the program and have you do it, actually make a program yourself. And then ideally, the way to really solidify what you've learned is to then go on and teach it to someone else. So if you're able to teach it to someone else, that would be even better. But the two biggest things at first is learning what the key concepts are, and then actually going through and building it yourself. So it's very important each one of these where you actually try to build it yourself first, rather than just skip ahead and look at what the answers are. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what some of these programs are that you're actually going to be building in this course, and I'll just run them for you right here. So the first one is a lottery app, and we'll just go here. This one's pretty basic. The user basically just picks a lottery number, 1 out of 4 picks. Number should be between 1 and 100. So we'll just put in 4 random numbers here. Let's see. And basically, if you get 1 right, you win $5. If you get 2 right, you win 25, 3, 525, etc. It's a pretty simple app, but a little bit fun. Then the next app, it's going to be a multiplication quiz. So you guys can see how good or bad I am in that. So this is similar to what we've done in prior projects. You're just going to be able to iterate a little bit more. So let's see if I can get this one. 78 times 40. It's tough. 28. So 31. 20. All right, got that right. Let's just get this one wrong on purpose. And it says, hey, you got 1 correct out of the 2. So that's the second project that we're going to be working on. The third project is just a number memorizer. So it just gives you 4 random numbers. It says what it is. You press OK, and then you type back in the number. And if you get it right, you get a longer number. So 462, 33. All right, longer number, keeps on going. So 1965. This will never stop, so we're just going to end it now, but you get the point. All right, that was the wrong number. The next one is a grocery list app. So you get the choice to add, delete, or finish shopping. So we're going to add here. Let's say enter new item, apple. All right, and then it tells you what the grocery list is. And then it just goes through a loop, and you can keep on adding apple items until you're finished shopping. So, oops, messed that one up. So hit the first add, and then type in the item that you want, and press OK. And then you have apple orange here. And whenever you're done shopping, you just press finish, and that's that. The next one here is called Friends Facts. So here you just type in information about your friend, favorite cake, birthday, we'll just say Feb 5, and I'll say DC. And then you can basically recall whatever information it is about your friend that you previously put in about them. So let's just do cake. It should come up as cocoa. Yep. Birthday, February 5th. So again, none of these apps are particularly useful by themselves, but it gives you some basic understanding of how to build certain types of apps, and you might actually create something that's remotely interesting or fun. The next one is a dice game. So basically, you roll a dice. If it gets a 7, then you win. If you don't, then you lose. So you start off with $100, and then you have to bet. So put in 20 bucks. Looks like we lost. So now we only have $80. And let's see, we'll keep on playing. Put in 80, maybe like 50. See, lost again. And basically just gonna keep on playing. So we're gonna quit this and go on to the next one. Celebrity greeting. This is probably the most boring app. It doesn't really do anything, but you'll see why once you actually build this, why it's important to go through the process to actually do this particular one. The next one is slightly more interesting. Is celebrity trivia. So you basically just go through and see whether or not you know a little information about some of these celebrities. I'm gonna go with single in this one. Nope. Guess he's married to Lauren Hashim. No idea. Fast Furious 7. All right, there we go. It's Scarlett Johansson's birthday. Let's say February 5th. Wow, got them all wrong. So got 0 out of 3 correct. So clearly my celebrity trivia knowledge is pretty bad, but you get the idea. And that's it for the projects. Sorry, just going back to the slides here. And again, yeah, this will be a useful way to actually go through some of what you've learned and get a real life feel for what it takes to actually build something. This will also be good for you to learn how to debug things if things aren't working, as well as use Google search if you forget or you don't know how, or something has been explained to you about how to actually make something. So again, this should be a pretty good fundamental class that will help you not just for front-end web development, but pretty much any programming that you'll do down the road as well.